Breast milk is essential for the optimal growth and development of an infant or a child. It contains so many nutrients which approximate up to 80% of water and other nutrients, which is essential for your baby's growth and development. Exclusive breastfeeding just simply means you are giving the baby just breast milk, no additional water or solid food, with the exception of oral drugs, because after giving birth there are some drugs that the hospital will give to you. One could be Abidec, which stimulates the child's appetite. If you have a child or a baby that isn't sucking well, the hospital will definitely give you Abidec. Is a multivitamin drugs that helps the baby to eat often and well. There's also Ampiclos, which helps to fight against infections. Not all hospitals give this, so please speak with your health provider before taking any of these drugs. Another one is Nospamin. People say it helps with the baby, when you give birth to a baby newly, like the baby's tummy bites. Sometimes they say the intestine is loosening up as the baby is sucking, and also colic. Yeah, it's called colic. It causes discomfort for some babies. Some babies might just do like my baby, while some might actually cry, be fussy about it. Yeah, and studies and research have also shown that children that are breastfed actually have higher intelligence than those that are not actually breastfed. And also it also prevents babies from falling sick, all those sicknesses that affect babies when they are newly born. It actually stops those sicknesses from affecting the baby, because the breast milk contains antibodies. When the baby sucks from the mother, antibodies from the mother passes on to the baby through the breast milk. The baby sucks them, and it helps to fight against respiratory viruses such as common flu, fight against diarrhea, pneumonia, and the rest of it. And also for the mothers, so research has also shown that mothers that breastfeed have lower risk of having ovarian cancer or breast cancer. Yeah, so what would happen to people that actually want to use formula? It is not entirely bad, especially when it is not your fault that you cannot breastfeed. In our previous video, we talked about inverted nipples. So probably one of the reasons why you might not be able to breastfeed your child might be due to the inverted nipples. I've heard, my mom told me of some people that their breast milk actually tastes very bitter. So from birth, this is not that your breast is not running. From birth, the baby doesn't just like breast milk. Why there are some babies that don't like, they want to eat solid food. Those ones have been trained from heaven. Probably God was processing fufu and pounded for them in heaven. So they came down to earth to continue from where God actually stopped. Yeah, so it is not entirely bad. It's just that studies have shown that babies that are breastfed are more or they are less prone to diseases and respiratory viruses, while those that use formula might have higher risk of being exposed to these respiratory viruses and diseases. And the simple thing to just do, and why most hospitals, most doctors will tell you to please exclusively breastfeed your babies, is because they are scared of you as a mother, like exposing the feeding bottles to dirty environment. We as Nigerians, sometimes we can get tired sterilizing your baby's feeding bottles and the rest of it all the time. Might get tired. Sometimes you might not be like, the baby just finished sucking, let me just rinse it small and reuse it. And before you don't know, probably there was leftover milk. You don't know whether it was already getting spoiled. There are already probably things reacting already in the water bottle. And when you just rinse like that and give your baby, and if you don't rinse properly, and even ordinary water does not take away germs, you have to sterilize with salt and hot water. So sometimes it can get tiring. That's why they always tell you to exclusively breastfeed your baby from the first month to the 6th month of birth, because the body, God created the body and created the woman in a way that all the nutrients the baby needs from the first month to 6th month, and the 1st to 6th month of every child is the month of rapid growth and optimal development. So everybody advises breast milk because one, it is safer, it is healthier, It is always in the breast. Anytime you bring it out, you can give your baby. But if it's formula or something else, you might have to probably warm the food, you have to sterilize, you have to prepare, you have to make sure you're using hot water and the rest of it. So it is easier to, so this is why they say, but if you're using formula, because exclusive breastfeeding is not moi moi, it's not beans, it's not ewa. It's not easy at all. It's not easy. At first for me it was quite tiring because my baby got used to latching on my nipples, and when I introduced feeding bottles, he was always rejecting it because obviously you can't compare the texture of a nipple to a feeding bottle. It was hard. So because why it was stressful for me is because sometimes I might want to step out, and then he was quite tender. I could not like carry him out with me all the time, so I would want to express using the breast pump, express the milk, and probably keep it in the freezer. So once it's time to eat, somebody can just help me warm it and give him. But because he was rejecting it, it became tiring for me. Sometimes in the middle of the night, probably when your mom comes for Mugo for you, you just want to sleep. But because the baby is not accepting the feeding bottle, it's always an issue. I remember when my mom was around, we were even trying to force him. Sometimes he would vomit. So my mom was like, let's just breastfeed directly. I know of somebody that also said if you had continued, the baby would have also gotten used to it. But so far, the safest, the cleanest, and the more economical method is breastfeeding your child. And also such research has also shown that when you breastfeed your baby, there might be little or no reason for you to allow your baby burp. In case you don't know what is burp, it is that thing that after eating you do that is what is burp. So after eating they tell you rub the baby back. Please, it does not mean you shouldn't rub your baby's back, but it's just that breast milk is easily absorbed into the body. And why they actually tell you to make your child burp is because while sucking, it is assumed that the baby also sucked air. But when you breastfeed your child, there's little or no air entering because the mouth is tightly fixed to the nipples, right? So there might be little or no need for your baby to burp. But when you use a feeding bottle, there's a greater chance. It is obvious that air will definitely get into the baby. So you have to rub the baby's back to make the baby burp to avoid indigestion, vomiting, or the baby choking. So this is why people advise exclusive. I've heard people say they don't have the strength. You wouldn't blame them. Some do for 1 to 2 months, some do for 1 to 3 months, while some do for 1 to 6 months, which is the one most hospitals advise. And if you can, please do it for your child. It will save you running to hospital, the stress of sterilizing. But if you cannot, you can actually go on with using formula to substitute. But make sure and try your baby is getting more breast milk than feeding bottle or formulas and or pap. Do you get it? From 6 months you can now experiment with all that food. By that time the digestive system is ready and all. But if your baby probably is not getting satisfied with just breast milk, then you can opt in for formula and introduce other light solid food that can be easily absorbed into the baby's system, right? Reasons why they tell you not to give your baby water while exclusively breastfeeding. You hear people say, I'm doing the original exclusive, your own is the fake one, you're giving your baby water. They say don't give your baby the original exclusive. Yes, it is true. This is what research and studies have shown, because the breast milk contains 80% water. Even when the weather is hot, the baby doesn't need water. Breast milk is enough. They will even tell you if you feel your baby is hot, probably the weather is hot, like now we're in, let me say, hot season, right? If you feel your baby is hot, they say breastfeed, the baby will be satisfied. I know we as mothers, we tend to be quite soft. We tend to be skeptical about this statement because we feel like when you eat normal food, even if it's pap, you feel thirsty. So how will a baby just suck breast milk and it's enough? But this theory has been proven time and time again. Yeah, it does not mean that you cannot give your baby water, but they advise you to give little quantity. My friend actually gives her son once in 2 days. Yeah, some people start from 3 months, some people start from the beginning to give the baby water because they feel the baby just ate. Yeah, it is not entirely bad, it's just that don't give the baby water and the baby starts rejecting breast milk. You know, water sometimes has a way of filling your tummy, and when your tummy is filled up, you might not feel hungry, right? So they don't want the baby to get used to taking water and take excessive of it. Do you get? And start rejecting breast milk, or little or no time the baby is okay. Yeah. Another reason why you should not give your baby water when you are exclusively breastfeeding is because it could actually disturb the electrolytes and mineral balance in the body, such as the calcium and the sodium, and which could lead to seizures. In case you don't know what seizures is when somebody is doing, it's not convulsion. Something is coming out of your mouth, a foamy substance, right? But in seizures, the baby might just be, and the eye might be rotating 360. It is not good. And they also say it actually reduces the nutrients your baby gets, because when you fill the baby's tummy with water, yeah, the baby rejects or takes little or no milk again. Yeah, so you can actually giving is not entirely bad, but just give if you feel maybe that mother nature wants you to give. You can actually give in minute quantities, right? Give the baby little, yeah, but the breast milk should be higher. And hope you also know, for you to be sure that your baby is sucking properly, the mouth should actually cover a larger amount of your areola. In case you don't know what is areola is that darkened or light brown or pinkish, depending on your complexion, around the nipples. You know, the nipples is separated while the areola is before the nipples, depending on how you see it. I'll drop a picture to show you, right? So it is, the mouth should actually suckle more on the areola, so that one, this reduces cracked nipples, breast soreness, and the rest of it. So, and it enables the baby to suck more. If the baby is just sucking on only the nipples, then it is an issue. That is why, even if you have inverted nipples, come close, this is also an advantage for you, because at the end of the day, yeah, the nipples is good, it helps the baby suck, but the right breastfeeding manner is for the baby to suckle more on the areola. You can, not just on the nipple, because the nipple can get cracked, can get sore, and when it gets sore, it's double pain for you, because you still have to breastfeed your baby. Even if you use a breast pump, it will still hurt you. Do you get? So avoid it. There are also breastfeeding positions for you. Yeah, you see the pictures here, you can just go through them, but just ensure that any method you are taking, the baby's ear, the baby's hips, and the baby's leg should be on a straight line. That is how you know your baby is properly staying. Yeah, so these positions avoid baby choking and the rest of it. Though some babies are funny, like my son, when he's breastfeeding, he scatters himself. One leg is coming down, before you know it, you add that leg, before you know it, the 2 legs are already down, he's still up, and you as mother. So most times when he does it, what I do is I lift him up and adjust him when I make sure he's actually staying on a straight line. Now we'll be going straight to benefits of breastfeeding, both for the baby and for the mother. Let's go right in. All right, for the baby, one, breastfeeding your baby helps you bond with your child. Now this is a picture showing you a baby sucking the mom's breast and looking right into the mother's eyes. That's one of the beauties of motherhood. When you breastfeed your child, it creates this bond between you and your child. Sometimes it can get you emotional, sometimes you just love the feeling, and from time to time, the baby, from looking at you as the baby is growing, he could show you another bonding sign. Like for my son, he holds one of my fingers, right? Yeah, but now sometimes he holds, sometimes he tries to touch my cheek, sometimes he tries to put his hand in my mouth, and I'll do boom and he'll smile. Yeah, so this is one way you bond with your baby. But why I would like to speak on this is because there's something I've actually noticed. Like, even if you breastfeed your baby using a feeding bottle, the baby still looks into your eyes. Yeah, Probably yes, God did it in a way that, yeah, because you're sucking directly from the mom, there might be a bond. But let me say from 1 year and above, the child knows you are the mom. But at that time, if there's somebody that comes around often and the child gets fond of that person, yeah, the child might not necessarily forget that you are the mom, but can actually do without you. That you breastfed your child does not mean that when the child grows up, you and the child will be 5 and 6. There's still work to do. So don't kill yourself. In case maybe you're not able to breastfeed or do exclusive breastfeeding, don't kill yourself. The child will grow up to know who the mama and the papa be. Yes, it causes that bond in the early stage, but does not necessarily mean that the child will now grow up and him and the mom will now be 5 and 6 like this. No. That's why you see some children are closer to their dad, some are closer to their mom, right? So it does not necessarily mean. So I'm just, in case you're watching this video and you're not able to breastfeed, don't kill yourself. And in case you actually passed through this process, please let us know in the comment section. Just comment, tell us how you were able to breastfeed, what position you practiced, and the rest. If you had an issue breastfeeding, if your baby accepted milk, what you did, your solution, and the rest. Yeah, secondly, I told you that when the baby is breastfeeding, antibodies from the mom is passed through the breast milk to the child. This fights against infections, right? Respiratory viruses, constipation. It stops constipation in children. Diarrhea, it also stops it, because I don't know, God is just wonderful, because all the nutrients are balanced. You're not trying to measure water and say how many spoons will I put that will not be too much for the baby or be too small for the baby. Do you get, right? But don't feel bad if you're not able to, right? Yeah, so it actually prevents constipation, stomach upset, and diarrhea for the child. Like, you rarely see a breastfed baby that is constipated, rarely, except probably right from the start. The mother has always had a strong stomach or has always been suffering constipation, so probably due to genetic makeup, it passed from the mother to the child. Thirdly, breastfeeding is economical. Very, very economical. Yeah, you might not start buying. Definitely after 6 months you get formula, because you start introducing the baby to Cerelac, pap, and other things that might involve milk, right? Yeah, so but for that first 6 months at least, you get to save up a little while you prepare for the journey ahead. Breastfed babies are less likely prone to allergies. Yeah, breastfed babies are also less likely prone to ear infections. When you breastfeed a child, it reduces the risk of instant infant death syndrome. You might just say a baby just woke up and died, the baby slept in the night and died. That is why breast milk that's why they tell you breast milk is the safest. Do you understand? Do you know something I wonder? Breast milk is watery, like is liquid. How is it able to fill a baby's stomach? And God is just wonderful. And you see them growing. You can see your child growing every day. God is wonderful. Yeah, so it might reduce the risk, reduce the risk of child obesity. Yes, there's something called child obesity. A child can be obese. Yes, a child can be obese. So because it's just breast milk, it can be easily controlled. And it says may. Alright, so it reduces allergies, also reduces infant death syndrome, also reduces ear infection, also reduces obesity. Now let's go right into the mother. Now for the mother, breastfeeding helps your uterus to contract back immediately after giving birth. One thing that helps your uterus contract and your tummy to shrink back inside is breastfeeding. 6 weeks after giving birth, your uterus keeps 2 weeks rather after giving, your uterus keeps contracting, trying to go back to how your tummy was before you were pregnant. 2, it is convenient. If you're not using formula yet, you might not have to go through the stress of packing milk, packing pap, packing godimo, packing plate, packing spoon, rinsing, sterilizing. Do you understand? 3, it is economical. 4, it releases a hormone in the woman known as prolactin. Now this hormone is also called the mothering hormone. That is mother, then you add ing, hormone. It helps the mother relax. Say, baby, relax. Baby, calm down. Baby, relax. Yeah. So Please, mothers, young mothers, upcoming mothers, I want to connect with you guys in my comment section. Just tell me, how has the experience been for you? If you learned something new in this video, just type in the comment section. Let's talk. I want to engage my comment section more. Tell me, and if there's a topic you would like me to talk on, motherhood, faith, fashion, and lifestyle, just type in the comment section and I'll be there to reply everything that you say. Till we meet again next time on your screen. Bye. Till this, how you coping with the economy? I want you to know that God will supply all your needs according to his riches and glory in Christ Jesus. Bye. Love you.